I didn't think I'd like it here, you know, prison. I couldn't believe it when the judge said life. I still don't know whether that means till I get older or till I die. When I came here 7 years ago, I had a little cell with 4 other girls. Not really my cup of tea, but I didn't have any say in the matter. Now, as you can see, I have a very much bigger cell. I only share with one other, Wendy. She's 25, a sweet young girl. Butter wouldn't melt. She's such a treasure. She's in for life as well. She battered her 2 children to death with a hammer, but she's so nice. I thought they must have deserved it. I asked her why she did it. She said they wouldn't eat their veg. See, I knew there'd be a reason, because she's harmless, really. I said, well, it's a good job you didn't catch him swearing. Oh, we laughed. She's got a great sense of humour. I didn't think I'd get on with people, because I'm the very shy, quiet type. But I seem to be very popular in here. I listen to people's problems, help where I can. I seem to be quite good at it. I was in the exercise yard one day, and I don't know why they call it the exercise yard, because all we do is like walk round slowly talking. Anyway, I found myself walking next to this young girl, about 18. It was obvious she'd been crying, and I asked her what was wrong. She wouldn't tell me at first, but after a bit of my gentle persuasion, she told me she shared a cell with the queen bitch of the block, and she forces her to do things to her. She said if I say no, she beats me, and she started crying again. She said she wants to end her life because she can't take much more. I gave her a big hug and told her to be brave. The next day, I was in the yard, and I went up to the bully. Her name was Beryl. And I told her to stop bullying and leave the girl alone. She laughed right in my face. I said that's not very nice, and we should all try to help each other. She laughed again, joined by her 2 sidekicks. Well, this was too much for me, and it annoyed me. So I pulled the blade from my sleeve. I'd made it 2 years earlier in metalwork when we were being taught to learn how to mend pots and pans for when we were released. I don't know why I made it, it just appealed to me at the time. And I found it a bit pointless me learning something for when I get out, like, you know, me being a lifer. Anyway, I digress. So I stabbed her twice in the stomach. She didn't move a muscle, but the look on her face was priceless. I just walked away, and when I walked past the young girl, I whispered, "She's promised not to hurt you anymore." The amazing thing is that all those people in the yard, and no one saw or heard anything. Prison's like that. I was in the canteen the other day, and I overheard some girls talking about a new queen bitch on the block. I went back to my cell and asked Wendy, who was making me a cup of tea. Yes, right, I had like kettle, sugar and tea bags in my cell like magic. And I asked Wendy, had she heard of this new queen bitch? She just smiled. I said, well, I hope she's better than the last one. She said, I'm sure she will be. A young girl entered my cell, and she asked if she could speak to me. 2 of our screws were men, and one of them had taken a fancy to her, and he was coming into her cell and making her do things for him. She said if she said no, he'd beat her. She was full of bruises. Oh, God. I said I'd see what I could do. So I made a few enquiries off the other screws, who seemed to think that I was making their job easier. It turned out that he lived with a wife called Julie. He had 2 young children, and he lived in a house in Moston. The next day I approached him. He was on yard duty. I went up to him and said, the next time you're having your fun beating and raping that girl in cell 239, just think what your wife Julie, your 2 young boys in their little house in Moston would think. I didn't know what house he lived in, but he didn't know that. A week later, he got a transfer. I happened to mention to someone I liked humbugs. The drawer next to my bed's been full of them since. I rather wish now that I'd asked for a 42-inch plasma TV. But I am still the only cell with TV, kettle and radio. You'd be a queen bitch, eh?